If you had the chance to go back and watch every major event of your life, what kind of story would it be? Would you laugh? Would you cry? Would you cringe at the things that you regret? Would you smile at the things that meant most? One of the most complex facets of writing is capturing that essence of human emotion and reflection. The translation of true dialogue, relatable characters, and engaging drama is a balance that is difficult to master. However, in 2020, in the midst of a devastating global pandemic, BBC's Normal People captured minds and hearts, reminding us of how precious life can be and inviting us to reflect on our own inhibitions. Blake Snyder, when discussing the genre of buddy love, describes three components on which all love stories are predicated upon: an incomplete hero, a counterpart, and a complication. BBC Three's Normal People, written by Sally Rooney and Alice Birch, doesn't just implement these components as a means of developing the story. They are implemented as a means of refining and deepening character. The characters of Connell and Marianne aren't just narrative devices that serve a love story. They are both deeply developed characters that exist within their own tragedies. Connell and Marianne's lives contrast in many ways, but it is the subtleties and relatabilities that invite audience reflection within both of these characters. The ultimate majesty of Normal People is found in the way the writers develop these characters as separate entities, rather than treating them as an intrinsically connected pair that cannot exist without the other. Whilst Normal People shines with its nuanced storytelling and beautifully crafted intimacy, the popularity of the series can likely be connected to one simple understanding: every viewer can witness a piece of themselves within the protagonists. After watching the series, I went back and read the book and was struck by the similarities and devotion to accurately adapting the novel. The novel reads much like a screenplay, with a key focus on dialogue. In fact, many of the lines from the book translate perfectly to the screen, with both Rooney and Birch reflecting the same level of intimacy and relatability into the 12-part drama. The clever and unique format of 20 to 30-minute episodes allow each instalment to act as a memory or a moment in time for both Connell and Marianne. Whilst many of the scenes from this series are striking, I want to look at two in particular: Connell's therapy scene and the final scene in the series. Not only do these moments capture important milestones in the lives of our characters, they are what I believe to be examples of true writing mastery.
I don't think that people like me that much.
Authenticity is not given. If a character lacks believable traits, speaks in an unrecognisable manner, and acts in a way that does not seem real, we struggle to feel emotionally connected to them. Normal People thrives because it allows an inward reflection from its audience, and that is most evident in this scene. It's not only the words that are spoken, it's the body language, the lack of eye contact, and the content of the dialogue that permits the audience to see themselves within Connell. At some point in our lives, we have all been faced with wholesale change, making new friends, meeting new people, and wanting to fit in. What happens when that change doesn't prove fruitful? The emotions depicted in this scene are carefully crafted to develop Connell's character and challenge the emotions of the viewer. The way in which the flow of the dialogue is constantly interrupted by a long pause or wavered breath provides a layer of authenticity that adds to the emotional impact of this scene.
I would say, I thought,
Throughout the series, Connell remains largely silent about hidden issues that exist within his life, but it is the death of his friend Rob that sends Connell into a downward spiral. Not only is this moment the first time we see Connell openly discussing his problems with someone that isn't Marianne, it's a moment that constantly reveals extra layers of character. This scene is a significant turning point in Connell's arc, and as a viewer, as someone that has followed his journey from popular football player to introverted college student, this is a moment of relief. Normal People ignites important discussions that exist within our own society. Discourse surrounding mental health is rife, and this scene acts as a passage of understanding for the viewer to witness the importance of talking. With Marianne away and his friendship group non-existent, Connell is vulnerable. His vulnerability is relatable to us as a viewer, and it's the dialogue within this scene that allows us to understand the depth of our character. Connell's breakdown precedes this moment and acts as a milestone of change. The retelling of events that we have already witnessed is not lazy exposition. Instead, it is a clever, deeply emotive way of casting new light on events and developing character through the reflection of their lives.
There's been a lot of stuff that's been difficult and painful. And this would be difficult and amazing.
We are conditioned to believe that all love stories end happily. We expect our protagonists to kiss under a setting sun, a gleeful tune playing over the credits as they roll. In many ways, Normal People defies convention, and that is clear in the final scene of the series. Not only does this scene wrap up the arcs of Connell and Marianne, it leaves us on an intimate moment between the couple we have desperately followed throughout the 12 episodes. This scene remains true to the essence of the series: growth. Connell is ultimately faced with a choice: move to New York and pursue his dream as a writer away from Marianne, or stay with her and live the life he's wanted throughout. This scene highlights the impossibilities of such choices, with Marianne the driving force in continuing Connell's growth. Both characters' progressions are highlighted in this scene, with Marianne finally finding comfort in her present circumstances and Connell willing to move away to continue his academic progression. The emotional weight of this scene is earned due to incredible narrative heavy lifting that has preceded it. The pain of growing up and the fear that surrounds it is perfectly captured in the final moments of this series, with both characters concluding that in order to progress, they cannot stay at each other's side. Connell's lines of thanks to Marianne are powerful and raw, resonating with the viewer through their sheer meaning and truth.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
One of the most unique elements of Normal People is how the show manages to shift in tone as the characters age. The 12-part series spans from Connell and Marianne's high school years to their time at the end of college. This progression of time is shown in the maturity of the characters, as well as the brevity of the situations in which they exist. As Marianne moves away from home, the relationships with her family worsen. As Connell moves further through college, he becomes more introverted and lost. Connell and Marianne age together throughout the show, and the balance of their stories allows us to feel close to both of them. There are subtle moments that showcase progression, such as the scene in which Connell kisses Marianne in a busy pub at New Year's, surrounded by the people he once tried to hide her from. When we are young, we are subjected to being part of a social climate. We try everything we can to maintain status, to try and be normal. However, as we grow older and feelings grow stronger, we realise the futility of such boundaries. Connell and Marianne undergo this transformation throughout the series, with Connell finally able to showcase his emotions in a place that he never felt comfortable in doing so. Normal People teaches us lessons in life, love, and storytelling. Within this minuscule episodic gem, there are vital lessons surrounding mental health, abusive relationships, and status. Sally Rooney and Alice Birch achieve the balance of character, story, and dialogue, utilising Snyder's concepts of an incomplete hero, a counterpart, and many complications. Normal People is a show that was transmitted in a time in which we all needed reminding of the value of life, and the series teaches us one vital lesson through the reflection of our own time. Fulfillment is whatever we wish it to be, and we should be relentless in finding life's purest currency: happiness. The final scene of the series isn't a conventional end to a love story. Instead, it's an intimate, emotional scene between two characters that have been through hell to finally arrive at this moment. Marianne's final line, "We'll be okay," is an emotional, gut-wrenching signifier that after everything they've been through, they might not be okay. After all, the future isn't written, and the beauty of Normal People isn't found in a fantastical gaze of the world. It's found in its emotional and sometimes terrifying realization of love, life, and growth. It is, in my opinion, an example of dialogic, emotional, and storytelling mastery. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Page to Screen. I'm Matt, and I'll see you soon.